Chapter 1. The Introduction. Sarah's footsteps echoed through the empty corridor of her college dormitory as she lugged her belongings into her new room. The anticipation of starting this new chapter of her life mingled with a hint of nervousness about meeting her roommate for the first time. The door swung open with a creak, revealing a compact space filled with two twin beds, desks cluttered with textbooks, and posters adorning the walls. She took a moment to survey her surroundings, imagining the countless memories that would be made within these walls over the coming months. With a deep breath, Sarah began to unpack, the rhythmic sound of her movements punctuated by the occasional squeak of the bed frame or the shuffle of papers. As she meticulously arranged her belongings, Sarah couldn't shake the curiosity about her new roommate, Emily. What would she be like? Would they get along? The questions lingered in her mind, adding to the sense of anticipation that filled the room. Finally satisfied with her efforts, Sarah collapsed onto her bed, the soft hum of excitement coursing through her veins. Little did she know, the rhythmic cadence of her life was about to be disrupted by the strange occurrences that awaited her in the days to come. Chapter 2. Strange Occurrences. In the days following Sarah's arrival at the dormitory, a subtle unease began to creep into the rhythm of her daily life. At first, it was just a fleeting feeling, a nagging sense that something was amiss. But as time passed, the oddities became impossible to ignore. Late into the night, as Sarah lay in bed trying to drift off to sleep, she would often hear faint whispers emanating from Emily's side of the room. At first, she dismissed them as the product of her overactive imagination, but the whispers persisted, growing louder and more persistent with each passing night. Their rhythmic cadence filled the room with an eerie ambiance, unsettling Sarah to her core. Then there were the disappearances. Sarah couldn't shake the feeling that Emily was slipping away into the shadows, vanishing for hours at a time without explanation. She would return to their room in the early hours of the morning, her demeanor distant and detached, as if she had been somewhere far beyond the reaches of reality. Sarah tried to confront Emily about her strange behavior, but her attempts were met with evasive answers and cryptic smiles. It was as if Emily was hiding something dark and sinister, lurking just beneath the surface. As the days turned into weeks, Sarah found herself consumed by a sense of dread, her once steady rhythm disrupted by the unsettling occurrences in her dormitory. Little did she know, the most chilling revelation was yet to come, shattering the fragile illusion of normalcy and plunging her into a nightmare from which she may never awaken. Chapter 3. The Midnight Encounter. One restless night, Sarah stirred from her sleep to a feeling of unease settling like a heavy blanket over her senses. The room was cloaked in darkness, save for the faint glow of moonlight filtering through the curtains. She glanced at the digital clock beside her bed, its red digits casting an ominous hue in the dimness. As Sarah's eyes adjusted to the darkness, she noticed a figure standing by her bed, unmoving and silent. Panic surged through her veins like an electric current, her heart pounding in her chest like a drumbeat. With trembling hands, she reached for the switch of her bedside lamp, casting a harsh light into the room. There, standing before her, was Emily. But it wasn't the Emily she knew. Her eyes were vacant, devoid of the spark of life that once animated them. Her lips were drawn into a thin line, a ghostly pallor casting shadows across her features. It was as if she were a mere shell of the person she once was, a hollow vessel inhabited by something otherworldly. Sarah's voice caught in her throat as she struggled to find the words to break the suffocating silence that enveloped them. "Emily," she whispered, her voice barely more than a breath. "What are you doing?" For a moment, Emily said nothing, her gaze fixed on Sarah with an intensity that sent shivers down her spine. Then, in a voice that seemed to come from somewhere far away, she spoke. "He's coming," she said, her words a chilling echo in the stillness of the night. With a suddenness that left Sarah reeling, Emily turned on her heel and strode out of the room, leaving Sarah alone in the suffocating silence. As the echoes of Emily's footsteps faded into the darkness, Sarah was left to grapple with the unsettling revelation that something sinister was lurking just beyond the edges of her reality, waiting to claim its next victim. Chapter 4. The Search. The following morning dawned with a heavy weight pressing down on Sarah's shoulders, the events of the previous night haunting her every thought. She tried to push aside the lingering sense of unease as she got ready for her classes. But the memory of Emily's vacant stare and cryptic words lingered in the recesses of her mind like a persistent nightmare. As Sarah made her way through the bustling corridors of the campus, whispers followed in her wake, the rumors of Emily's disappearance spreading like wildfire among her fellow students. Concerned faces turned towards her, their eyes filled with questions she couldn't bring herself to answer. Upon returning to the dormitory that evening, Sarah found herself greeted by a scene of chaos. Campus police officers bustled about, their voices raised in urgent conversation as they coordinated search efforts. Friends and classmates gathered in small clusters, their worried expressions a stark contrast to the normally jovial atmosphere of the dormitory. With a sinking feeling in the pit of her stomach, Sarah approached one of the officers, her voice trembling as she recounted the events of the previous night. The officer listened intently, his expression grave as he took notes on a small pad of paper. Before long, the dormitory was abuzz with activity as the search for Emily swung into full force. Sarah joined her classmates as they combed every inch of the campus, their footsteps echoing in the stillness of the night as they called out Emily's name into the darkness. Hours passed, the rhythm of their search marked by the steady beat of their footsteps and the occasional rustle of leaves in the cool night breeze. But despite their efforts, Emily remained elusive, her whereabouts shrouded in mystery as the night wore on. As dawn broke on the horizon, Sarah was left to grapple with the chilling realization that Emily had vanished without a trace, leaving behind only a trail of unanswered questions and a sense of foreboding that lingered like a shadow in the recesses of her mind. Chapter 5. Unraveling the Mystery. In the wake of Emily's disappearance, Sarah found herself consumed by a relentless need for answers. Determined to unravel the mystery surrounding her roommate's vanishing, she turned her attention to Emily's belongings, searching for any clues that might shed light on her sudden departure. Among Emily's scattered possessions, Sarah discovered a weathered leather-bound diary hidden at the bottom of her desk drawer. With trembling hands, she flipped through its pages, her heart racing with anticipation as she delved into the secrets that lay within. The entries were cryptic, filled with disjointed ramblings and fragmented thoughts that spoke of a darkness lurking just beyond the edges of Emily's reality. References to a malevolent entity haunted by Emily since childhood sent shivers down Sarah's spine, casting a chilling pallor over the room. As she pored over the diary's pages, Sarah began to piece together a portrait of Emily's inner turmoil, a struggle against forces she could neither comprehend nor control. It was as if she were caught in the grip of a nightmare from which there could be no escape, her every waking moment haunted by the specter of an unseen foe. Driven by a sense of urgency, Sarah delved deeper into Emily's past, interviewing friends and family in search of any clues that might help unravel the mystery of her disappearance. But with each passing day, the truth seemed to slip further from her grasp, leaving her to grapple with the unsettling realization that some mysteries were not meant to be solved. As the days turned into weeks, Sarah's obsession with Emily's disappearance consumed her every waking thought, the rhythmic cadence of her life shattered by the unanswered questions that lingered like a specter in the shadows. Little did she know, the darkest revelations were yet to come, plunging her into a nightmare from which there could be no awakening. Chapter 6. The investigation deepens. Determined to uncover the truth behind Emily's disappearance, Sarah delved deeper into the labyrinth of secrets that surrounded her roommate's enigmatic past. Armed with newfound resolve, she embarked on a relentless quest for answers, navigating the treacherous waters of deceit and deception that threatened to engulf her. Sarah's investigation led her down a winding path fraught with obstacles and challenges as she sought to untangle the web of lies that obscured the truth. She interviewed friends and acquaintances, piecing together fragments of information in a desperate bid to reconstruct the events leading up to Emily's vanishing. But the deeper Sarah delved into the mystery, the more elusive the truth became, as whispers of a dark conspiracy began to surface. Rumors of a clandestine cult operating on campus cast a shadow of suspicion over those closest to Emily, as Sarah struggled to separate fact from fiction in her search for answers. Despite facing resistance and skepticism from those around her, Sarah remained undeterred in her pursuit of the truth, her determination unshakable in the face of adversity. She scoured every inch of the campus, following a trail of breadcrumbs that led her ever closer to the heart of darkness that lay at the center of Emily's disappearance. As the pieces of the puzzle began to fall into place, Sarah found herself confronting uncomfortable truths and unsettling revelations that tested the limits of her resolve. But with each revelation came a renewed sense of purpose, as she drew ever closer to uncovering the sinister secrets that lay hidden beneath the surface. Little did Sarah know, the darkest chapters of Emily's story were yet to be written, as she embarked on a harrowing journey into the heart of darkness that threatened to consume them both. But with courage as her compass and determination as her guide, Sarah pressed onward, determined to unravel the mystery of Emily's disappearance, no matter the cost. Chapter 7. Confronting the Entity. With the pieces of the puzzle finally falling into place, Sarah found herself standing on the precipice of a dark abyss, poised to confront the malevolent force that had haunted Emily's life and now threatened her own. Armed with the knowledge gleaned from Emily's diary and her relentless pursuit of the truth, Sarah steeled herself for the confrontation that lay ahead. As darkness descended upon the campus once more, Sarah ventured into the shadows, guided by an inner resolve that burned like a beacon in the night. She navigated the labyrinthine corridors of the dormitory with determination, her footsteps echoing in the silence like a rhythmic drumbeat. With each step, Sarah felt the weight of the unknown pressing down upon her, the air thick with a palpable sense of dread that hung like a shroud around her shoulders. But she pressed onward, driven by a fierce determination to confront the darkness that threatened to consume them both. As she neared Emily's room, Sarah felt a chill run down her spine, the hairs on the back of her neck standing on end as she braced herself for what lay ahead. With a trembling hand, she pushed open the door, stepping into the dimly lit room with a sense of trepidation that bordered on terror. And there, standing before her, was the entity that had haunted Emily's nightmares for so long. Its form was twisted and grotesque, a writhing mass of shadows and whispers that seemed to warp reality itself. Its eyes glowed with an otherworldly light, fixated on Sarah with a hunger that sent shivers down her spine. But Sarah refused to back down in the face of the darkness that threatened to consume her. With a steely resolve, she confronted the entity head-on, her voice ringing out with a strength she never knew she possessed. She called upon every ounce of courage within her, determined to banish the darkness from their midst, once and for all. As the confrontation reached its climax, Sarah felt a surge of power coursing through her veins, a primal energy that burned like a raging inferno within her soul. With a final cry of defiance, she unleashed a torrent of light that engulfed the entity, banishing it back into the shadows from whence it came. As the darkness receded and the light flooded the room once more, Sarah stood victorious, her heart pounding with triumph, as she gazed upon the shattered remnants of the entity that had threatened to consume them both. And in that moment, she knew that she had emerged from the darkness stronger and more resilient than ever before, ready to face whatever challenges the future might hold. Chapter 8. The Resolution. With the darkness vanquished and the threat of the malevolent entity extinguished, Sarah emerged from the shadows, her spirit battered but unbroken by the harrowing ordeal she had endured. As the dawn broke on the horizon, casting its golden light across the campus, she felt a sense of peace wash over her, the weight of the world lifted from her shoulders at last. In the aftermath of the confrontation, Sarah found herself surrounded by friends and allies, their faces a testament to the bond that had been forged in the crucible of adversity. Together, they stood united against the forces of darkness that threatened to tear their world asunder, their spirits buoyed by the knowledge that they were not alone in their struggles. As she surveyed the wreckage of Emily's room, Sarah felt a pang of sadness wash over her, the memory of her vanished roommate lingering like a ghost in the empty space that remained. But she took solace in the knowledge that Emily's sacrifice had not been in vain, her courage and determination paving the way for a brighter future for them all. In the days that followed, Sarah found herself grappling with the aftermath of the ordeal, her mind haunted by the memories of the darkness that had threatened to consume her. But with each passing day, she found strength in the knowledge that she had emerged from the darkness stronger and more resilient than ever before. And as she looked to the future with renewed hope and optimism, Sarah knew that she would carry the lessons learned from her ordeal with her always, a guiding light to illuminate the path ahead. For in the face of adversity, she had discovered a strength within herself that she never knew existed, a rhythm of resilience that would carry her through whatever challenges the future might hold. And with that newfound sense of purpose burning brightly within her soul, Sarah stepped boldly into the dawn of a new day, ready to embrace whatever adventures awaited her on the journey ahead.
Welcome to our channel, where bedtime stories come to life with a touch of reality. Join us on nightly adventures as we explore captivating true tales that will spark your imagination and leave you in awe. From extraordinary encounters to heartwarming moments, each story is a testament to the wonders of the world around us. Don't miss out on the magic. Hit subscribe and like to become part of our community and unlock a world of captivating stories waiting to be discovered. Together, let's journey into the realm of reality and beyond, one story at a time.